Hey folks, I yeah, I think I messed up my timing. Ooh, my butt is cold. Well, hello everyone. My name's Alex. Welcome back to Broken Pines Farm. Um, yes, as you can see, I might have mistimed things. We got a major snowfall, and it's been sticking around a lot longer than I thought. And I think this is it. This is the snow we're gonna keep for the rest of the year. So there's some things I was hoping to do before the snow showed up. It is absolutely freezing today with the wind chill. The tractor is heating up right now. I have to get the snowblower on. But look at this. Look at this scenery. I mean, it's just amazing. So what happened is on Sunday, there was rain that turned into freezing rain that eventually became snow, and that's the accumulation we got on the trees, and it's been cloudy and covered with no direct sunlight since then. So that snow has not had the chance to thaw and melt. That's why it's still up in the trees. Now here's the challenge for today. I'm hoping to get that beast 74-inch snowblower on the back of the tractor. Problem is the stump grinder is kind of in the way, and right now the chipper is in the back of the tractor, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. But let me show you some of the troubles associated with this type of weather. If we look at this white pine, branches like these are usually sticking up about 20 feet in the air, but with the weight of the snow and the ice, they're just hanging down in the way, and sometimes they just snap off. And look what happens to that silver and gray birch, which is such a garbage wood. It just bends like that, and eventually there's just so much weight it just snaps, or it'll remain in that position because it's always going to remain curled now. Maybe not this extreme, but it will always be overhanging the path, which is something I really don't want. And look over here, which is all birch. Paper birch is not too bad, but this silver gray birch is absolute junk. Look at everything bending over here. This is all stuff that's gonna have to be cleaned up. Now there's two problems with this. There's two outcomes. Either we're gonna have another freezing rain or another important snowfall and they'll break, or there's a mushroom that attacks those trees that will get in there, and then a strong gust of wind will make it snap in half. The problem is I don't want to be under or near that tree when that happens. Look at this. This used to be standing straight up. Now it's almost touching the ground. But look how magical the Christmas tree farm looks. The downside though is all this freezing rain makes the needles kind of brittle, makes the tree extremely heavy, and the shape of the tree is nothing like it would look in your living room. So a terrible time, unfortunately, to pick a tree, but looks wise it just looks amazing. So here we are, just approaching the pond. If you remember last week's video, if you had a chance to check it out, I was complaining about these birches being in the way and bent, but look how bad it is now. Unfortunately, it has been snowing for the last 4 days, and like I said, the ice has not melted off of these guys. So they're heavy, they're staying in that position, they're brittle, and they keep bending. Look at all this. I don't know if you remember in last week's video, I cleaned up a bunch of these branches because when they're weighted down, they'd be in the way of the tractor, and now I can still reach them just because they're so heavy. Now the thing with white pine and all the pines and the conifers usually is part of the branches will break off, but the tree will remain nice and straight, versus these aspens and birches that just tend to bend and become a pain in my butt. So that's the same view as last week's video, 1 week apart. Wee bit different, hey? But if we come over here at the pond, This is more like good news though, although a couple of the trees over there are going to be frozen to the ice. So might have to fix that. But look how magical this looks. And we've been getting a lot of cold nights and cold days. So I'm standing on the ice now, my whole weight. It's not super fully solid yet, but as we can see, it's nice and flat. Only on the edges here where there's been some melting and freezing and melting and freezing, it's not as nice. But I want to make sure this is nice and frozen before I actually get on there and try to clear the ice. Obviously you want at least 3 inches of thickness before I get on there, because you don't want too much snow, because it turns into that porous white ice, which is not as great for the quality. You want that compact, dark ice with the least amount of air bubbles as possible. So you may be thinking, if the area around the wooded lot looks like this, it must be just amazing walking in the wooded area in your trails. And you would be right, it's very Christmas-esque, it's beautiful right now. The danger is, if there's any wind of any sort, you never really want to be in the woods if there's a risk of anything overhead falling on your melon. As we approach the entrance of the trail, look at all this stuff overhanging the trail. And like I said already, the problem with this wood is that if the mushroom gets in there, it's a ticking time bomb. And the worst offender probably, which snapped in half again, it's this guy right here. You can see the mushrooms on it. And the top snapped, but it's snagged. But this is just a strong gust away from falling. And we're not just talking the little trees that get affected. Look at this behemoth over here. It just snapped clean off. Okay, been affected by the mushroom, makes it porous, makes it spongy, and then just snap clean off the stump. The last thing you want to be is anywhere near it. Every time I come back here, there's more birches just snapping and falling. Ooh, is that a ferret? It's a white thing. I don't know how well you can see it. I've never seen this before. It's a little white animal. It had a little black spot at the bottom of its tail. I'll have to look it up. It looked like a ferret. That's cool. And if you look, you can spot a lot more trees that has the mushroom. The problem is once one has it, it'll spread eventually. Hopefully I can get rid of all these birches and replace it with those nice sugar maples that are coming up, or those nice conifers. So this will be a working project. But yeah, that's the reason I don't like walking in the woods in this type of environment. All right, tractor should be nice and warm. Let's figure it out. Let's get the wood chipper off of it. Let's get the snowblower back on. Let's make sure everything is greased and well oiled so that we're ready to tackle the next big snowfall. I'll fly the drone overhead so you guys can enjoy the true beauty that is an ice storm with lots of snow. It's brutal on the trees, but it is quite something to look at. Oh hey, if you're liking the content so far, hit that like button please. Thanks. All right, sit rep. Tractor's there. Dropped off the wood chipper there. Everything is frozen. The pins are frozen. The PTO was frozen. It's a bundle of joy. I picked up the stump grinder that was there, moved it back in front of the brush cutter. Sorry, I'm out of breath. You can tell how cold it is. It's about -17 Celsius with the wind chill. Moved it back, so now I have nice access to the snowblower. Thankfully it's covered, so I don't foresee anything being frozen on there. Fingers crossed it goes well. Sorry about the loud noise on the tractor. It's doing regen right now, and it needs to get to operating temperature for the regen. And obviously it's cold outside, so it takes a little longer. But the good thing is we can still work. It's just louder. My friend here, I call them the massager. Just massage it in place. Well, this never happens. Both sides lined up perfect on the first try. So eventually, once I have the sawmill, I'd like to build shelter for everything. If you watch Ben from When Work is Play, he's got a really nice setup with pallets where everything has a spot under a roof. It's nice and protected. I wish I could mimic that one day. Take the collar and press it back and push it in. It's just trying to get a grip sometimes. This is a little storage foot. Spray up. Okay, so now these are not the collar type. I'll try with the tractor off. Okay, so I just took a quick peek. Number 2 is actually the remote for the left-right, and that's the one I use the most, and it's actually closer to me physically. So I'll put the left-right number 2 here, which is the bottom one. I wish these were colored. We are in and good, basically trial and error. I took a rag, made sure it was properly clean. Push it in there. Now we're going to take our grease gun from all the nipples or Zerg fittings. I'm just going to use regular bar oil. Just remember, we're going to run this at idle. With me not in the tractor, I'll be very careful. I won't come near anything that's moving, because this will take off your finger in no time. I'm just gonna slowly pour some chainsaw oil on here. That was cool. You can really tell how stringy this oil is, so that it clings to stuff and doesn't get flicked off everywhere. All right, well, that's it. Woo. Sorry about the different camera. I don't know where to look. I'm finishing this on my phone because it's so cold outside that my batteries are dying so fast. I ran through both my GoPro batteries, and my other main camera is a rechargeable battery. It has to be plugged in, unfortunately. So now what I'll do is I'll come back with a tractor and I'll run in the path behind me, because this is where my my red maples, you can see the ones with the markings on it, are the ones I use for maple syrup. And last year I only had access from the far side, so I had to walk all of this holding 5-gallon buckets full of sap. It was a pain in my butt. Look how pretty it is though. This is one of my producers. It was very time demanding and it was very heavy. So I want to try and avoid doing that if possible. So I want to stay on top of the upkeep so I have access to both sides so that I can easily see, that's what I mean. Everything's frozen. I don't know if the mic's picking it up, all the cracking from the branches moving up top. And every minute or so you'll hear a branch crack and fall. So I won't stay here too long. But isn't this just so beautiful? Look at the leftover little fruits. It's just so pretty. All right. It's quite something if you've never been in the woods after an ice storm. It's special. So I'm gonna use a tractor. I don't want to snow blow right away. There's not enough stuff on the ground. I'm just gonna dig up into the soil and then blow dirt away and damage stuff. So I'll just run it over a couple times to make a hard base so that next time there's a snowfall, I have something hard underneath to work with. And then also I'll have a path already made so that I can drive on it or walk on it come March, April when it's maple syrup season time. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, more winter stuff coming up. I am working on a Christmas wreath. I'll show the process. I've noticed that once I'm cutting the bottom of the tree, that's basil pruning, so that they have enough room to put the tree in the stand. The leftovers makes for some great wreath material. Now I just have to play around with the sizing and what I want to do. So I'll build a couple myself and I'll show the process on screen. It might be interesting. Otherwise, this is the last time I wait until stuff freezes over to put the snowblower and do the winter maintenance. I wish I had done an oil change. I mean, according to the manual, it's not due yet. It's not a bad idea to do it every year. It's just I ran out of time this year. As always, time is precious. And I like spending time with my family sometimes versus doing maintenance and chores. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.